What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I wanted to go into a game that I absolutely love. So, this game here, I don't know what the line opened at, and I wanted to cover Colorado because obviously they're an interesting team, as well as the fact that I think as the season progresses, it's like watching a movie, so it's really not difficult. Obviously, we're so far sitting at 0-4 with Colorado. We had them losing week one. Week two, we had them losing because I thought it was a really, really weird. I didn't think they paid the public week one. Week two, I thought it was weird because I thought they should have been big favorites against Nebraska. Week three, we had them covering because of the whole Deion Sanders mom thing. And then last week, I had them winning. I originally had them getting covered, and then I'm like, you know what? I think they're going to win to go undefeated into USC. Now, that being said, they say you learn a book from a loss, and as I said before, I hopefully learned a mosaic here. So, honestly, I think if you look at what they've done so far, it's wrestling logic. You know, they have the guy get momentum one week, and then the next week, you assume he's going to have it, and he loses. And they're doing exactly that now. So, what I found odd, I said I don't know what the spread opened at, but if you look at the spread, it's obviously 21.5. The exact same spread they were getting against Oregon. Oregon moved to 21, but now someone told me the line was 24 opening for USC. But I asked people a question: do they think this team that just got completely decimated by Oregon? Do they honestly think that this team, playing the best player on the planet, should be getting the same spread? So, what they did is genius, in my opinion. With one game, one fell swoop, they just got the entire nation off of Colorado. Anytime Colorado plays a contender now, people are just going to assume that they're not going to play that well. And this is a perfect game where I would imagine most of the money is on the USC spread. The only saps pouring money in the Colorado is probably the money line. And sure, they could win the game. That would be a nice swerve, but again, it would be so unbelievable. Again, I bring up wrestling a lot. It would be like having Brock Lesnar lose to a referee and then turn around and beat Goldberg, Hulk Hogan, and The Rock in their prime at the same time. It would make no sense. They would not have Colorado get beat so bad by an inferior quarterback. Oregon's a good team, but they are not USC. They are not Caleb. Bo Nix is not Caleb Williams. So I expect suddenly Colorado's defense they'll learn to tackle overnight. Suddenly, the offense will be able to block for Shedeur Sanders. All these issues they're talking about will kind of disappear, at least to an extent. Maybe a goofy punt return touchdown. Colorado's covering this game. I'm very confident they are. The only narrative for them to get beat down again would be okay, see, now they just can't hang. And then down the road when they play Washington, UCLA, Utah, then they can get some sneak victories. But I still think they can lose by 17 points, look okay. Public's still not going to love them playing a good team. So I always like to cover Colorado by themselves because it's such a narrative. And as you know, I'll be rolling with the Fade Deion plays. So I'll go into the spreads, but for the money lines, and honestly, they all make sense too if you think about it. All the games make sense, even the Cardinals. I'll go into that. But yeah, I expect Colorado to definitely cover this spread. And USC will probably play their fast pace as usual. But I see they've been doing this a lot in college, and it's a great way for teams to sell spreads. Going forward on fourth down, they've been doing it in the NFL. The Cowboys did it to the Cardinals on a ridiculous. It was an obvious kick a field goal situation. They go for a touchdown, and it was part of the reason they lost. But the college coaches do it all the time, so I can see a lot of 4th and 5 turnovers, and Colorado will stay in it. So I love Colorado. As you know, I file all of my picks beforehand. That way, we can recap them all, and it's not like an "I told you so" thing. So we're doing very well. We're closing a lot of leg threes. We actually don't have many leg threes open. Yeah, we have none. We closed every sequence. So I opened all these sequences, and some we lost on leg 3, as you can see. But for the most part, they're closed out. Some are heading to a leg 2. And I have Colorado covers as a leg 3 for the Virginia beats NC State game. We did not get that, which is fine. I think we're going to get this cover. And again, it's just a testament to the system. Even if they don't, we're still fine. But I think they're going to. I don't understand how this is the same spread when we have, again, a much better team that's proven to be way harder to stop than Oregon. The whole problem with Colorado, outside of the fact they can't block, is they can't tackle, they can't cover. Hunter's still injured. They're talking about rushing him back from injury. I don't think that's going to happen. And I think they're going to, again, use this as an excuse. Without Hunter, like, this guy would not have made a difference. He was actually getting torn up by Colorado State's receiver. So I don't know where this narrative's coming from, but Hunter is not this guy that they're making him seem to be. But when he comes back, I expect them to start winning. They'll lose this game, in my opinion, but I see it being something. I actually do think it'll go over, too. So I think USC's defense is going to sell a lot, because after seeing what just happened, I don't see too many people taking a 73.5. Even if they think USC is dropping 60, they might not be convinced that Colorado can drop 2 touchdowns. So I see something along the lines of, a very high-scoring game. We could get something like 55-38 or something like that. It might not be that high, but we could even get something like just like a low 50s, maybe 51 to something. 51 to 30 would even cut it. So there's a lot of different numbers that they can roll with, but something like exactly a 20, even a 21 points, since you got the half-point hook. I could certainly see them winning by exactly 3 touchdowns. But I do like the over, which again would usually suggest that USC is going to cover. But in this case, I think the public's going to be on the under and definitely on USC. So I'm not playing the over, it's just a suggestion. But I do like Colorado to go ahead and cover this spread. And I would lock it in case it does move. It would be weird if it did. It should move in favor of Colorado. But if apparently it opened, I think at 24, someone said. So I could see it moving to 20 and people getting pushed or something. So, yeah, I like the 21.5. And if it's, like I said, if it moves, it should move in our favor. But I wanted to get this out there just in case it did move the other way. I think this is a pretty close to a lock after what we saw last week. So my next video, I'm going to have like a bunch of college videos out or a bunch of college picks out. Basically, I just go into a bunch of teams I like because of their spread metric. So it's nothing fancy. Half the teams I never even heard of. I just pick teams based off of their spread. And we did good with that last week. I think we were around 60% just picking spreads. And I'll obviously have NFL videos out too. So take care, everybody, and happy earnings.